If you currently find yourself working at a small company or freelancing, there is a chance you are the solo product designer, product manager, or even the only product person working in that project. While having autonomy is great, and this situation definitely gives you that, it can easily lead you down a rabbit hole where you miss out the opportunity of learning with others that have more experience than you, reflecting on your workflow, and breaking away from biases because there is no one to call you out. At various points in my career, I find myself in this position. So in this video, I'm sharing my personal survival guide for navigating solo product roles that I'm positive it will help you out by the end. So there are three things I always do. The first one is make a plan before I work on anything. Not literally everything, but the important stuff. So when I'm facing a problem, let's say the app I currently work on is having some issues with user adoption. Instead of jumping into user research, collecting feedback, and etc., I like to take a deep breath and define the steps I want to cover beforehand. This plan that I make serves as a map, guiding me to the solution, while also guaranteeing that important steps are not set aside, such as testing or validating my assumptions. I usually like to follow something similar to the design thinking framework, but you can definitely take some steps, add some steps, and tailor it according to the problem that you're facing, because each challenge is going to be different. So also is going to be your plan to solve it. The second thing I do is make time to learn. I know, especially at startups, everything is one day behind, and you truly learn a lot in the process of making things. But I personally dedicate 1 to 3 hours per week for me to really sit down and study something. I make sure to schedule these learning sections to my calendar. I can do it all in one day or I can break it down. It really depends on how my availability is that week and on the topic that I'm going to study in a learning session. I also like to incorporate reading product books, listening to podcasts, and watching some reliable content on YouTube. For my recommendations on learning resources, check out this video here at the top. So in order for me to decide what I'm going to study in that week, I go with either one of these approaches. I either focus specifically on some skills that I'm going to enhance my day-to-day at work. So let's say once Figma launched the variables last week, I dedicated a lot of time to watch tutorials, try it out, and experiment. Or more recently, I wanted to dive deeper on better ways to keep track of our product roadmap. So I also took some time to study the possibilities. Or I can see some industry trends that I see coming up, anticipate that, and make sure to master that thing. The third thing I do is surround myself with knowledgeable people. And I know you're going to say that you are the only person in your company that handles product or product design, but you can and you definitely should see connections beyond your company. You can do that by enrolling in live boot camps. That's something that I'm currently doing. I'm taking the design system bootcamp by Molly from UI Prep. And it's been the most amazing experience because I surround myself with people who know so much more about design systems, with people that have been working in the industry for way longer than I've been and with different backgrounds. So it's a very rich experience for me. You can attend remote or in-person conferences. For example, in June, Figma is hosting their config. If you're able to make it in person, that would be great for you. But if not, you can watch all the talks as they're going to share on their YouTube channel, or you can also try to get some designers together that live in the same city or designers who have similar interests and gather with them online or in person for you guys to experience the conference together, connect with professionals on LinkedIn or other platforms like X. And I know that in the beginning, that can be sort of intimidating because you don't want to disturb people, but as you show that you're interested and you're not only saying like, oh, is your company hiring? Can you refer me or something? People are very open to connect and to help you out, honestly, and to share their experience with you. Another way that you can surround yourself with knowledgeable people is for you to engage with friends that work in similar or related fields. So maybe none of your friends are product designers, but if you have friends that work as software engineers, for example, or even graphic designers, you can have a chat with them, talk about the way you work, ask about their day, and they're definitely going to give you their unique perspective on product development or design in general. That's something that I do quite a lot. And sometimes I have to apologize to my engineer friends because I lost track of time of how many times like we sat down and I was like, but what about this about coding? How much time it takes to do this? These are the steps I take constantly to ensure that I keep learning, growing, and also that the decisions I take about the product, they're always based on research and data and not my assumptions. Because when you are the only person with that specific expertise in the company, or if you're working by yourself, it can be super easy for you to leave those processes aside, for you to stop doing your research and thinking that you're better than you actually are. If you made it this far, I have another video for you where I walk you through how to build an effective and productive work routine in product. As a solo designer or solo PM, I know you definitely need this help. So I'm going to see you there. Happy designing.